Inc. presentation. And with me today, my name is Heidi Chow, CFO of the company. And with me today is our board member, Jim Tsai. He's also our advisor. So I'll pass that to Jim to talk about the company history and some of the background of the company.
Thank you, Heidi. And first of all, thank you, everyone, taking the time to this presentation today. And today we're going to talk about exciting stuff like video games. I don't know if you play video games, but we're going to talk about video games. So before we get into big picture, focus of the picture, let me start it with the company. So the company started a dream in 2009, and the slogan of the company is "Born to Dream." Obviously, we built dream, we built video games over 20 plus years, and after 15 years now, we are a NASDAQ listed company, and one of the pages is going to talk about the video game economy. So, and give you a big picture of video game economy in 2027, expected to be close to 200 billion. So larger than movie and music industry can combine. So, yeah, that's the first page, thank you. And this is our history throughout the game. As you may know, video game industry is almost like the digital entertainment. And then when you talk about digital entertainment, you talk about music, you talk about movie, they always have a blockbuster movie coming out or the music coming out. But before they actually launch, they don't know. Until they launch, it was like, oh, this is tempo, right? Same as video game. You probably spending maybe 1 or even 5 years to create one video game and have 300 or 500 developers, you never know. But look at the history that we have done in the past. For 25 years plus years, we must have done something right, something very exciting IP that continue to hit the market and sustain the company in revenue. But so this is a game that we released in the past year among all the different platforms. So the platform is PC, is PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, Switch, any platform that you named it. Well, that's thanks to the ubiquitous of the platform today, like Apple stores or Google store, that actually help us to reach billions of players out there. So I am the board director. I used to be the CEO. Now the company is led by Haishi. He has a long history, a veteran, not just a founder, manager, but also he is a creative and also a very veteran of the video game player. He spent hours, we're talking about hundreds, we're talking about thousands of hours that he playing game. Because our business is video games. So we continue to create video game. We continue to have numerous of content, not just create them ourselves, but we're working with the studio, we license, we do the marketing and everything. And Heidi, as a CFO, that help us being listed company. So we'll be highly regulated as listed company in the United States. And this is I'm not going into detail with this page. This is what our performance in the past, and the number got sold because when people looking at the video game was like, oh, you're free to play because your game is not actually monetized from the game itself, it's monetized from the item. But now we are actually unit sold, we're premium game. So our gross revenue come from every unit sold. And throughout the years, in the past 10 years, later we can show you a trend, a graph that how each time when the game release, remember back I was talking, it's not easy for the video game company to have very successful game and very popular, and not saying you have 10 years continue successful for every year. That's what we're doing. And in 2 weeks, we're about to release one very exciting game. That game has not been released yet, but it has pre-sale for 6 months and very successful on that game. So we're very excited on the game. And this is a key investment highlight for today's presentation. So a leading game company in a very attractive growth emerging industry, very sustainable revenue. We are franchise expanding. Now, today, we're looking to grow because it's almost like you're in a restaurant business, you find something very secret formula, but you're looking to grow your restaurant, but you have limited capital to go into a franchise. Now we're here, we are looking for a partner to grow the company and able to share the secret sauce with. And we have a improved probability with the defined path. We have a seasoned executive team and also the developer that helping the company continue to grow. And the last one is the blockchain forward and digital asset, because we create digital content all day long. So blockchain is not new to us, and Heidi will talk more later. So this is a page earlier we were talking about. I don't know how much about video game. Video game may be small, like $60 for a video game. But if you're a video game player, you know what I'm talking about. $60 will buy you an immersive universe that you can play for lifetime. If you go to a movie, 2 hours, maybe $20, $27, get you 2 hours. But in this video game, you play like in massive of time that you can spend, and you can have probably the most cost-efficient entertainment that you can get. And yes, this is what showing in our spreadsheet, the Ark Survival powerhouse that actually has, it's only on Steam. Remember I'm talking on different platforms, but this is only on Steam. So Steam playing time for the player is over 4 billion hours. That's amazing. And throughout the year, it's close to $1 billion revenue for this Ark franchise. And
Quick question.
yes.
Should I wait till then?
No, you can go, please.
Oh, it's that previous slide. It's that non-GAAP revenue, the full platform fees. So what was approximately the fees for
30%.
Steam, PlayStation? Which ones are more, competitive?
They're relatively an industry standard of a 30% platform fee.
So, and they vary within the, like Steam versus PlayStation versus like Xbox, is there arbitrage there?
Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, they're all at 30%. On Microsoft, we have certain things at a slightly different rate. But on average, it's about 30%.
So yeah, this is a couple of key metrics of what the game is about. So more than 4.2 billion hours. Average play time is 379 hours. Can you imagine that you play into the game that average is 300 hours instead of lately I go to a theater, I can't even watch the movie through 2 hours because I can't sit that long. But as 300 hours, you sit in front of a computer and play that. And then the active user is more than a million. And the concurrent user is more than 700,000. And this is what I was talking about with this Ark franchise. Every release, you see the peak on every year. And we're about to release another similar product in 2 weeks. That's the latest new DLC. And Heidi can talk more about the number later.
And now I'll talk about our growth strategy. So how do we grow? And we define our growth into 3 different pillars. The first one is through a gaming expansion to build on the existing IPs while we're seeking out new IPs through licensing. The second one is a profit expansion, utilizing a cost control, which we'll go into detail in a little bit. And the third one is also a new project that we're currently working on the stablecoin project. So on a gaming expansion through two different channels. So one is through our internal development team, and second one is through a external license. So on our external develop team, as Jim mentioned earlier, we actually do have a DLC to be released in a couple of weeks. We started the pre-sale in June of 2025. Over the past almost 6 months, we have seen a significant amount of players that actually purchased it, even though the game has not released it yet. And secondly is we have two of the games that we internally develop that's called 9 in Citra Immortal and also For the Star. Those are the two games that we have our internal development team that are currently working on the game. A second type of our gaming expansion is through the external license. Echoes of Elysium and also Honeycomb. Echoes of Elysium it will be released this week. Yes, I think it's actually this week. We're releasing as Echoes of Elysium this week. Honeycomb got pushed to Q1 of 2026. These two games that we started to license the game last year. And so look, currently it's looking pretty good. So we're looking forward to those two releases. So how do we expand our development capacity to support our pipeline? Over the past few years, we have started to build our EU, one of our subsidiary in Europe, in Poland. Actually, we have a subsidiary in Poland that's called Donkey Crew. And because the cost is relatively lower than here, so the studio over there, we're expanding on that to control our cost. And in the US, our development team is expanding quarter over quarter. As the end of Q3 of 2025, we have internal employee in the US of about 109 people. So how do we run a lean and efficient operating structure? This is actually a chart to show that, quarter over quarter of our cost structure. As you see that, the cost, it looks like from the pipeline, the cost is increasing, but that's also because revenue is also relatively higher as well. Plus, we are supporting our 2025 and 2026 releases. We also, this year, we released almost 6 indie titles that we licensed over the past few years. And R&D and marketing expenses also is something that we focus on because as a game publisher and developer, we think that internal develop is something that we have to invest as well. So how do we diversify in monetization from the Act 2 sequel? For any of you guys that are familiar with the gaming industry or even art, is we do have a long history and we have a huge player base and fans base of ARC. So for ARC 2 is we have a potential to build that into filming, into TV, different DLCs, even into merch and also to the movie industry as well. Last but not least is our stablecoin project. Since second quarter of this year, we internal management started to discussing about stablecoin and not a treasury management. I know that lots of people will ask us, hey, why don't you guys do a treasury management? But we are an operating entity. We have very, very good games that we are publishing, so we're not doing a treasury management, but we're building a stable coin that we are minting and burning our own coin. So currently is we're getting the required license that's needed, and also we're building our own smart contract, building our own infrastructure, which on my very, very last slide is we actually have a investor date that will be more details to come out regarding our stablecoin project. So currently is we engage one of the top legal counsel, O'Malley, that is our legal counsel helping us on the stablecoin project regarding the compliance and regulation. We also engage George Chow as our consultant. Dr. Chow has a PhD degree in computer science, and he also has a a full stack crypto platform that's called Ascendus. And so people will ask, why Snail? You guys are a gaming company. Why do you want to do stablecoin? Why are you getting into that? Because Jim also mentioned, we're creating digital. I mean, we're creating digital assets in the company. Stablecoin, we see that it's gonna be a future type of a payment. And as we have almost 91 million of ARC franchise gamers. We want to be able to be ready and utilize this as build that into our gaming ecosystem. And
Next question.
The
yes.
90 million gamers, how they spread out geographically, or at least your revenues, do you have any data on that?
Almost, I think 50% of the people are actually from the US side. Yes.
And the rest?
The rest is all over the world. They're all spread out.
And on the stablecoin side of it, like which currencies?
On the stablecoin side will be mainly US.
Mainly US?
Yes. That's what we focus, mainly US, and it could be offshore. It could be in an offshore exchange platform.
Any other currencies you're considering?
USD so far.
Not euro, nothing?
Not euro.
But you do have players in Europe.
We do. Yes. Part of the reason because Europe has a different regulation system, regulation for stablecoin as well as their MTL, the whole license requirement and stuff. So as of right now, we're not getting into Europe side yet. Want to make sure on the US and also offshore first. So on this slide is just a refresh of what are our key investment highlights. Leading gaming company in the attractive growth industry, sustainable revenue with highly engaged gamers, a franchise expansion opportunity beyond the gaming, and also a defined path to improve profitability. Also, we have a seasoned executive team with years of experience. And last but not least is our blockchain forward and digital assets progressive. So this is the page that I was mentioning earlier for any one of you guys, if you are based in New York. We actually do have an investor day on December the 16th from 12 to 3. It is an invitation only. So if you guys are actually interested of attending and hear more about our stablecoin project, our digital assets project, and also Lost Colony, we actually have an honor to invite one of the co-founder of ARC to present for the Lost Colony as well. So if you guys are interested or if you're based in New York, the event is hosted at NASDAQ market site. It is limited seat. If you're interested, let me know and I can send you guys a invitation and register. With that, and that concludes our presentation for today. Yes?
So in terms of your competition, who your main competitors are with this size? So you've got almost 91 million players on the platform, revenue, et cetera. Just give us a lay of the land.
Competitor, I mean, if we, from a company-wise, for Snail Games, of a gaming company, if we say competitor, it could be EA, it could be a competitor. Blizzard got acquired by Microsoft. I mean, it's a competitor. However, due to the size of their company, it might not be an apple to apple. However, because ARC, for our game, for the number of players that we have, and also the size of the IP, it is comparable to any of the IP that EA actually owns or Microsoft that they actually owns. So if we do compare, that's a similar, like Take-Two, EA, they're all in a similar business structure as they do internal developed games. They also license games. They only publish games.
Right, but you have your own licenses for this specific game, and that's your competitive.
Correct.
How do you have a question?
Yes.
What is the age group of the people who play your game?
So the current age group is between, I mean, it varies, but what we see is from Microsoft that is providing us the data is somewhere between 14 to 40.
Like where do most fall in on the younger side?
At the mid-age, between 25 to 40 years old.
And just explain, how do you generate your revenue? Where's the revenue come?
So our main revenue, as we mentioned, that revenue is because it's a premium game. So our revenue, majority of our revenue is coming from gamers that are purchasing the premium game, meaning that for every single title that they purchase, for if we release a game, let's say Lost Colony that we'll be releasing in a couple of weeks for 29, let's say $29.95, a player has to pay that $29.95 to a platform. We'll get 70% of the $29.95 after the platform fee. So that's where our revenue coming from. Correct. Yes.
So when you have a new release and you've pre-sold, they're paying for it ahead of time, or do you recognize the revenue when it's released?
Good question. We don't. We don't get to recognize as revenue when it's pre-sold because we have a performance obligation that we have not
So it's going to be in
delivered.
the quarter you release, and I assume then also all the other trinkets and things that they purchase will be fairly in the first couple of weeks that the gamers are playing. Is that correct?
So the normal trend is during the first couple weeks of the pre-sale, the player will purchase it. On the first couple weeks of the release is also where the spike is of the purchase.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your reoccurring revenue with customers?
DLCs, purchasing of the DLC, and also purchasing of every time when we have a DLC or new titles, that's where the recurring revenue comes
So
from.
if someone watches a game, what's the likelihood of that?
If a person purchases the game and keep playing the game, then it doesn't generate revenue to us, but it keeps a playing time or DAU, a daily active user high, or a CCU high, meaning that if player keep playing on the games.
And you're familiar with the DLC, right? You know what that means.
Daily active
The
users.
DLC is the downloadable content, so that you might want to explain what the DLC is.
So a DLC will be, if imagine that you have a master game that you purchase and you're playing the game. A DLC is an expansion pack, a different map that you could actually go to another area to play the game, but you will have to purchase that. So it's a downloadable content. If you don't purchase that, you're only entitled to this area, which is the master
So
map.
it's an additional cost to the game. So like if you want to play an additional area of the game or additional, that's how they get.
It's like buying the next level.
It's buying the next level or buying an additional thing. That's how they get you to buy more into the game.
Correct. Well, how often do you release a DLC, and what percentage is that of your revenue on an annual basis? Because I know Jim said most of it is unit-based sales. I don't know if that unit-based sales includes the DLC. And back to my friend's question, on a residual basis, there's no residual at all right now. Is there any intent to build that in to where it's a monthly subscription or anything?
So we try to release, we try to release a DLC every year when it comes to a bigger map. However, even though those are the DLC, we every few months we do release a smaller taint, what we call as a fantastic taint, that gives a player a special power within the games. So those will be releasing every few months.
With more than 6,000 small and micro-cap companies listed, if you're looking for the next Apple, then ChannelCheck truly is your tree. It's an investor community where you can access independent Wall Street research, advanced market data, balanced news, corporate videos, and podcasts. You can even register to attend in-person Meet the Management Series luncheons, and to be part of the preeminent annual Small and Micro-Cap Investor Conference, NobleCon. And here's the best news. Since ChannelCheck is sponsored by the featured companies, premium membership requires no investment. It's absolutely free. So check it out. Log in today. Find out why ChannelCheck is North America's leading source of research on the companies that just may change the world.